In 1990, the person scheduled to give the opening speech at Wetherby School's Spring Festival had fallen ill. Then one of the volunteer mothers said, "I'll do it." When she took the stage, 500 people were shocked because the speaker was Princess Diana, and no one had realized for 6 months. June 15th, 1990, Saturday morning. There was great commotion at Wetherby Prep School in London's Notting Hill district. The school's traditional spring festival was to take place today, and everything was ready. Stands were set up, flags were hung, children were dressed in their costumes waiting. But there was a problem. The local mayor, Mr. Hampton, who was supposed to give the opening speech, had called in sick that morning. Festival committee chairwoman Mrs. Jennifer Walsh was running around frantically. "What are we going to do now?" she asked the other mothers. 500 people have come, the children are ready, but we have no opening speaker." At that moment, a soft voice came from behind. "I'll do it." The person speaking was Mrs. Spencer. She was a very humble and hard-working mother who had been working on organizing the school festival for the past 6 months. Her real name was Diana Spencer, but she was only listed as Mrs. Spencer in school records. "Mrs. Spencer, that's very kind of you, but this is a big responsibility." Mrs. Walsh hesitated. "Speaking in front of 500 people." "No problem," Diana answered confidently. "I'll do it for the children. We've been working on this festival for 6 months anyway." Mrs. Walsh looked at the other mothers around her. They all loved Diana. Mrs. Spencer hadn't shirked any work in the past 6 months. She had taken on every kind of task. From the sausage stand to the play area, from decoration making to program organization, she had been involved in everything. "All right," Mrs. Walsh agreed. "But please keep it short. Just a few sentences for the festival opening." Diana smiled. "Of course." During this conversation, no one knew who Diana was, because when Diana registered William for school, she specifically had her last name written as Spencer. She hadn't used the Windsor surname. Additionally, she wore ordinary clothes every day and styled her hair differently. She even sometimes wore glasses. That morning, too, Diana was dressed very simply: blue pants, white sweater, sneakers. She had no jewelry. She looked completely like an ordinary mother. The festival was to begin at 10 a.m. Diana stood in front of a small stage. Facing her was a crowd of 500 people: parents, children, teachers, school staff. Mrs. Walsh came to the microphone. "Dear parents and students, welcome to this year's Spring Festival. Our opening speech will be given by Mrs. Spencer, a valued member of our festival organization committee." Diana's heart was beating fast as she walked toward the stage, but this excitement wasn't from stage fright. Diana had given dozens of official speeches. The reason for her excitement was wondering about the reaction of these people she had known for 6 months. Diana approached the microphone and began speaking. "Good morning, dear parents and children." At her first words, the voice seemed familiar to some, but no one was sure yet. "I'm very happy to be here today," Diana continued. "Working with this wonderful team for the past 6 months has been a great pleasure for me." A few people in the front rows of the crowd began examining Diana more carefully. Mrs. Patricia Davies, mother of 8-year-old James, whispered to her friend, "This voice sounds very familiar." Diana continued her speech. "This festival isn't just entertainment. This is a special day when we come together for our children's happiness, when we create big memories in their little worlds." As Diana spoke, there was a natural grace. She gestured with her hands, moving her eyes around all parts of the crowd. This wasn't the speech of an ordinary mother, but like the speech of an experienced orator. The most important thing I've learned working with you for the past 6 months, Diana raised her voice, is that being a parent is the world's hardest but most valuable job. At this point, Mr. David Thompson, father of his son Simon, standing in the middle of the crowd, turned to his friend. This woman is definitely someone famous. This way of speaking, this confidence. Diana had come to the most emotional part of her speech. Every child is special. Every child has dreams. Our duty is to support their dreams, to ensure they grow with love. As Diana said these words, her eyes found William. 8-year-old William was standing in the front rows with his friends, listening to his mother. That's why, Diana raised her voice even more, today we're not just opening a festival. We're teaching our children love, togetherness, sharing. Murmurs had begun in the crowd. Many people were wondering who Mrs. Spencer could be. This speaking style, this confidence, this experience was too much for an ordinary mother. Diana was concluding her speech. Now, my dear friends, I officially open the 1990 Wetherby School Spring Festival. I wish you all a wonderful day. When Diana put down the microphone, applause rose. But during the applause, a voice rose from the front rows of the crowd. My God! That's Princess Diana! The voice came from Mrs. Caroline Webb. She was a mother who enjoyed watching television news and had recognized Diana's voice. This announcement created a shockwave. The crowd fell silent. Then excited whispers began. Princess Diana? Impossible. Mrs. Spencer. My God, it really is her. Diana stood on stage, watching the crowd's reaction. There was no secret anymore. The 6-month Mrs. Spencer charade was over. Mrs. Jennifer Walsh was in shock. She took the microphone and brought it to her mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really Princess Diana. Crazy applause began in the crowd. 500 people stood up. Children were screaming. Parents couldn't believe it. Diana stood in the center of the stage, smiling. The secret was out now. She had played the role of ordinary Mrs. Spencer for 6 months, but now her real identity was known. Mrs. Walsh took the microphone again. Princess Diana? I mean, Mrs. Spencer. We didn't know you had been working with us for 6 months. Diana took back the microphone. I just wanted to be William's mother. It was very enjoyable to spend time with you as a normal mother, to participate in festival preparations. The crowd applauded again. This time the applause was warmer, more sincere. Mrs. Patricia Davies approached the stage with her son, James. Mrs. Spencer? I mean Princess Diana. You wrapped sausages with us for 6 months, made posters, played with our children. We never realized. Diana came down from the stage and approached Mrs. Davies. These were my most beautiful 6 months. I had never felt this normal. The mothers around had surrounded Diana. But this wasn't a normal princess crowd. This was the amazement of colleagues who had worked together for 6 months. When you set up the sausage stand, Mrs. Susan Miller remembered. When you painted the children's faces, Mrs. Rachel Green added. When you drank tea and chatted with us. Mrs. Ann Parker laughed. It was all real, Diana said sincerely. Every moment I spent with you for 6 months was real. I really was Mrs. Spencer. William came to his mother's side at this point. Mom, now everyone knows who you are. Diana hugged her son. Yes, sweetheart. But does it matter? I'm still your mother. And our friend too, Mrs. Walsh added. Whatever your title, you're our teammate. The festival passed much more specially that day than planned. Since Diana no longer had to hide, she behaved more comfortably. She was visiting stands, playing games with children, chatting with parents. "Let this never change," Mrs. Davies told Diana. "You're our Mrs. Spencer." "I want to remain your friend too," Diana replied. That evening, after the festival ended, the organization team had a small meeting. Diana was there too. "Mrs. Spencer," Mrs. Walsh laughed, "I guess we should call you Princess Diana now." "No," Diana spoke decisively. "I'm still Mrs. Spencer for you. Let this not change." After this incident, Diana's situation at school completely changed. She was no longer secret, but interestingly, her relationships with other parents became even more intimate. The following Monday, Diana was again taking William to school. The mothers waiting at the school gate came running when they saw her. "Mrs. Spencer," Mrs. Davies called out, "would you come for coffee?" Diana was surprised. "Really? I mean, doesn't my princess title bother you?" "You wrapped sausages with us for 6 months," Mrs. Miller laughed. "You're like family now." Diana's eyes filled with tears. "This is very important to me. I've never had friends like this." That morning, Diana had coffee at the small cafe near the school for the first time like normal mothers. 6 mothers sat around the table talking about their children. "What's William like as a child at home?" Mrs. Green asked. "Very naughty," Diana laughed. "The other day, he and Harry messed up the kitchen together." They said they were trying to make cake. "They're all the same," Mrs. Davies nodded. "James dug a hole in the garden last week. He was looking for treasure." Diana was enjoying this ordinary mother chat. No one was treating her specially because she was a princess. Everyone was sharing their experiences with their children. "Diana," Mrs. Walsh asked, "I'm curious about something. How can you behave so normally? I mean, living in the palace." Diana thought for a moment. "Actually, living in the palace can be very isolating sometimes. Everyone addresses you as Your Highness. No one tells you their real opinion, but when talking with you, I feel real." "We also feel that you're real," Mrs. Parker spoke sincerely. "Mrs. Spencer we've known for 6 months is the real Diana. That title is just the part seen from outside." After this conversation, Diana began having regular meetings with this group of mothers. Every Tuesday morning, after dropping their children at school, they would go for coffee. Paul Burrell describes Diana's change during that period. "The princess became a completely different person after these mother friends. When she came home, she was very happy, very peaceful. She would say, 'Paul, today I felt like a normal mother.'" A month later, the school organized another event. This time, Diana was openly asked for help. "Princess Diana," Principal Mr. Harrison spoke, "how would it be if we asked for your help with the summer picnic? As Mrs. Spencer or as Princess Diana?" Diana smiled. "Aren't you both the same person?" Mrs. Walsh interjected. "We want Mrs. Spencer, and she can bring Princess Diana along." This joke made everyone laugh. Diana had now accepted this dual role. During summer picnic preparations, Diana became even closer to the mother team. She was now going to their homes too. Mrs. Davies never forgets her first visit to Mrs. Davies' house. "When Diana knocked on my door, I couldn't believe it. Princess Diana was sitting in my kitchen drinking tea. But she was so natural, like an old friend." During these home visits, Diana also took care of the children. She had taught Mrs. Miller's daughter, Sophie, to read. "Aunt Diana reads me stories," Sophie had told her mother. "She knows the most beautiful stories." Diana not only read stories to children, but also played games with them. She had taught Mrs. Green's son Michael to play football. "Princess Diana plays football," Michael had told his friends at school. "And she plays very well." These friendships were so valuable to Diana that she mentioned these friends even during official royal duties. At a charity event, journalists had asked Diana, "Princess, what do you do in your spare time?" "I have coffee with my friends," Diana had answered sincerely. "I have very nice friendships with the mothers of William's school friends." This statement had a big impact in the media. For the first time, a royal family member was saying they had normal friends. This friendship led to other changes in Diana's life, too. She now wanted less official protocol and more real life. She said to Charles one day, "These mother friends reminded me what real life is like. I want to be a normal mother, too." "You're already a normal mother," Charles had replied. "No, I'm not," Diana insisted. "Normal mothers invite their children's friends home, go on picnics, attend school meetings. I couldn't do these things because of protocol." After these friendships, Diana began to relax royal protocol. She invited William and Harry's friends to Kensington Palace. Mrs. Davies describes this. "Diana invited me and James to the palace together. James was very excited. Diana showed him around the palace, played games with William. There was no exaggeration. It was like a very natural home visit." These friendships had also attracted media attention. Journalists were writing about Diana's normal mother behaviors. However, this situation had created discomfort in some royal circles. There were those who thought Diana was acting too ordinary. Sir Robert Fellows, the Queen's private secretary, had warned Diana, "Princess, these friendships of yours are attracting a lot of attention. Perhaps you should behave a bit more distantly." Diana had been very angry at this warning. "I am William's mother," she had said. "Making friends with the mothers of my son's friends is my most natural right." Queen Elizabeth was also curious about Diana's behaviors. She had asked Diana one day, "How is this friendship with school mothers?" "Wonderful, Your Majesty," Diana had replied. "I feel like I have real friends for the first time." "But how do they treat you? Do they know protocol?" "That's what's beautiful about it," Diana had smiled. "They address me as Mrs. Spencer. They see me as a friend, not a princess." The Queen had found this answer thoughtful. Perhaps Diana needed friends like this. When summer picnic day came, the event was a great success. Diana had both worked on the organization and given the opening speech. This time, no one was surprised. "My dear friends," Diana had begun her speech, "at the previous event I had met you as Mrs. Spencer. Today I'm here both as Mrs. Spencer and Princess Diana." The crowd had applauded laughingly. "This dual identity is very special for me," Diana had continued, "because Mrs. Spencer is my real self. Princess Diana is my official duties. I'm very happy that I could make friends with you as Mrs. Spencer." On picnic day, Diana had behaved completely relaxed. She ran and played with children, chatted with mothers, and even when it started raining, she looked for shelter like everyone else. "Diana is running from the rain," Mrs. Miller had laughed. "So, princesses get wet too." "Of course I get wet," Diana had replied, laughing. "I'm a mother like you too." After this event, Diana's school friendships deepened even more. They were now meeting regularly at each other's homes. At a meeting held at Mrs. Walsh's house, Diana made an important statement. "This friendship is very valuable to me. I feel normal for the first time. Thank you." "We thank you," Mrs. Davies replied. "You gave the best example to our children. They now know that princesses are normal people too." These friendships left lasting marks on Diana's life. She maintained communication with these mother friends until her death. When news of Diana's death was heard in 1997, The Wetherby School mother team was very sad. Mrs. Walsh describes that day. When we got the news, we all cried together. We hadn't just lost Princess Diana, we had also lost our friend, Mrs. Spencer. At Diana's funeral, the Wetherby School mother team was also there. They had come to give their last farewell to Mrs. Spencer. Today, those mother friends still remember Diana as Mrs. Spencer. For them, she was more than her princess title. She was someone who prepared festivals with their children, drank coffee with them, their real friend. Mrs. Davies said, on the 30th anniversary of Diana's death, "Diana taught us that real friendship is built with hearts, not titles. She was our Mrs. Spencer, and will remain so." Diana's memories at Wetherby School also influenced modern royal understanding. William and Harry, following the path their mother showed, try to raise their children in as normal conditions as possible. Prince William said in a statement in 2021, "Our mother gave us the most beautiful gift, the opportunity to make friends like normal children. She ensured we grew up on equal terms with other children." Diana's surprise speech that day wasn't just the opening of a school festival. It was also the beginning of modern royal understanding. Because that day, Diana showed that titles have no importance. What matters is the quality of humanity. The Mrs. Spencer identity had given Diana real happiness, reminded her of her true identity. And perhaps most beautifully, those mother friends never forgot Diana. For them, Diana wasn't a princess, she was a friend. She was Mrs. Spencer who did her best for children, who established real friendship with them. This story teaches us this: real value is not in titles, but in hearts. Diana became famous as a princess, but was loved as Mrs. Spencer. And perhaps her most beautiful memories were lived not in the palace, but at school festivals,